It's just unfortunate that the media through which we interact with other people and with the news are actively designed to be addictive and ultimately feel very harmful. I really believe in not disengaging from the news altogether and not disengaging from other people altogether, but also recognizing that unfortunately the medium through which we connect to those things is designed to be addictive and ultimately feels very harmful. Actually doing nothing, or the figure of kind of emptiness, is a really difficult one for people right now, because we're constantly bombarded not only with information but kind of prompts to express ourselves, to respond to things. And I think in the middle of all that, learning how to actually redirect and proliferate one's attention is a really worthwhile thing to do. Literally, I think it's just what the phrase normally means, which is the design of technology to keep you as engaged as possible with it, as long as possible. I also kind of fold into that the culture of personal branding and this kind of feeling or assumption that you need to be constantly checking back in with something, or that you need to be engaged all the time. My example of a kind of neutral website would be Craigslist. You go there to post something for sale or look for something for sale. It usually works. You make that transaction and then you walk away. There's nothing about Craigslist that is asking you to constantly check back on Craigslist, which I think is just a really helpful counterexample to thinking about how these other websites are doing that. It's important for me to acknowledge that I'm obviously coming from a place of privilege, many long list of privileges, and in that, I've seen that unfortunately this kind of time to step away, or even the ability to get rid of one's Facebook account, these are things that not everyone can afford. Particularly if you are, say, like a gig worker who has 3 different jobs and no benefits. Just doing the math of day-to-day survival is not going to leave a lot of time for, sitting in the rose garden. So I think I put a lot of importance on just being open to surprise and realizing that there are things that you will encounter that are important to you in ways that you can't know right now, that you will be surprised by things that you like for reasons that you can't explain. My favorite example of technology is a pair of binoculars, which is something that allows me to see something that I wouldn't be able to see otherwise. And something like the app iNaturalist, which lets you take pictures of plants and identify them, is another example of something that's technologically mediated but actually gives you more access to the physical world around you. What is the local watershed? What are the things that grow here? What are the native species? These kinds of questions. And I think it's especially humbling for me because I'm from the Bay Area, so I was learning these things about communities and entities that I had been looking at for a long time without actually realizing what they were, or maybe not even seeing them at all. So I think that process of discovery is really intoxicating, honestly. I was very influenced by a performance of a John Cage piece that I saw at the San Francisco Symphony. I can honestly say that I don't hear things the same way anymore. The way that I hear things has been changed for good by that piece, and I think it's a really good example of how generous certain art pieces can be in permanently opening up areas of experience to you that you didn't have access to before. I'm really interested in how we think about productivity and how oftentimes that leaves out things that we understand are actually very necessary. So things like care, maintenance, rest, simply keeping things and ourselves alive. For a long time, work like that has not been valued in the same way as something that produces obvious results.